Hey guys, we're going to take a quick break and talk about our sponsor, PPC Pros. PPC Pros is an agency focused on leveraging paid traffic, automation, and conversion optimization to get you more bookings.
Man, I've had a relationship with Dustin and PPC Pros from the earliest days of Destiny Water Adventures. We continue to work with PPC Pros. Dustin is one of those guys that provides so much value. The moment you call him and talk to him, you get off the phone and you're like head swirling with ideas, and he gives you a really good understanding of what they're actually doing for you. They're not just giving you some ROI breakdown of what you're going to get after working with them. They're using ad spend and everything like that. PPC is 100% a one-stop shop for all of your marketing needs. And even if you call him up and you don't end up working with Dustin, you walk away with a ton of value and ideas that you can apply to your business that day.
PPC Pros offers SMS and automation systems for water sport and venture companies designed to improve the customer experience, increase efficiency, and recover lost bookings. Their goal is to deploy simple and profitable marketing systems for operators so they can easily see the ROI from their marketing dollars and spend time on other areas of their business. So how do you get a hold of PPC Pros? You're going to go to their website, ppcpros.co. That's not .com. That's .co, ppcpros.co, and go to their contact us to start a conversation with Dustin and his team.
Dustin, their CEO and founder, is not just a marketer. He is an operator as well. You know that you're talking with one of us.
All right, let's get back to the show.
All right, we are back. What episode are we on, Greg? Does it really matter? You know, it doesn't matter. But so I was thinking about this while I was going number 2, and a couple things I was actually thinking about. One is we should start a business that we get access to everyone on the planet's search history, and then it's like a Google for search history. You just put their name in, and then it tracks everything that they've ever looked up, and then we basically charge them. I mean, there's a billion ways that we could, probably a trillion ways that we could charge them. We could probably be trillionaires from this wonderful idea I have. But like just the same thing, like access to information, like blocking information, like basically like a sort of Yelp for your search history. I mean, because there's murder, there's like all sorts of terrible things in people's search history. Everyone has it. And it just got me to thinking, you know, like I'm a very open guy, pretty transparent. I wear literally my heart on my sleeve. I got tattoos of hearts on me, and people like share stuff with me. You know, I'm the go-to guy when I'm like, hey man, call me, text me, hit me on my DMs. Like I'm always here for you. Like if you have done something that you feel guilty about, guarantee you I've done it, man. I've made every mistake on the planet. And so, yeah. So what brings me to this is why I thought about it is, and this is like off script, because today we're going to talk about AI, platforms like Expedia and TripAdvisor, OTAs. And we've broached on this before, but I really want to get into some numbers on some of this stuff and business practices and principles. But reading some research and some studies and actually having a conversation with Douglas Quinby. I feel weird about calling him Doug because I don't know if he doesn't like it, but I feel so close to him as a human being that calling him Douglas just doesn't feel natural to me because, you know, you're Greg. You're like, gee, what up, Kimosabi? Like all my friends I have pet names for. Anyway, but Douglas and I, Doug, whatever, we had a conversation, and I wanted to take this opportunity opening the show. I did a recap of Arrival. We did a recap of Arrival. And this has nothing to do with the fact that we're partnering with them for the Watersport Conference, but it's just because he has a fair critique of our breakdown of Arrival. And it was that the things that I said specifically, I was not in attendance for a lot of the things that I was saying weren't there were actually there. And again, this is not a plea to get you guys to come to Arrival. We will be doing plenty of pleading for you guys to come to Arrival on the Watersport Conference coming up in the next few months. But he definitely had a fair argument to make, was like, hey, Kevin, you weren't there. Did you know we had a strategy session? Did you know we had an operations? Do you know we did something on taxes and finance? And I'm like, shit. And not that it's an excuse, because there is no excuse. I shouldn't have done the takedown that I did. But in all fairness, first I blamed it on my hearing. But the reality of it was I was not barely anywhere in Las Vegas because I've been getting sober, man. And I was really depressed and I really didn't want to be around people. And I just kind of hid out in my room, and you didn't even see me really near the pool. You saw me mostly sitting around with AMP Agency and Steve because, and when you guys were at the pool.
So this had nothing to do with you losing a few grand.
No, it really, a little bit. You were
not just a little bit depressed and went to your room and cried. No. I mean, because I'll piss money away on stupid shit, and it really doesn't bother me. But no, it was just I was very depressed, period, and I just didn't want to be around people, and so I didn't take in everything. And then he was like, "Hey, man, you kind of like said a bunch of bullshit about our operation on your show, and you're wrong. This was there, and this was there." So I want to take this opportunity to just give a quick highlight, because coming into the show, I reached out to him and I said, "Hey, some of the stuff, it's 80 sessions, 100 plus speakers across 4 major tracks: strategy, marketing, product, experience design, and operations." So it's like, to this point, I've sort of beat this drum about Arrival being like a straight marketing conference. And I think they've heard it the first time around because Doug and Bruce they're about analytics. They're about research. They're about finding out what their audience wants. And there's always conflicting. Like he said to me, it was like, oh, guys want to come in and they want to hear operator stories, and then they leave halfway through, but then they show back up for the Viator thing to bitch at the CEO of Viator. So it's like, well, okay, should we just continue to have this because you say one thing, but you do another? And my counter to that is when you're doing market research, there's a data point that gets skewed, because the moment you ask them to buy a ticket, that changes everything. Because I can say the house of my dreams looks like this, but if you're like, oh, here's the house of your dreams, that's $10 million, you're going to be like, nah, maybe I'll take a shittier house. It's actually interesting you say that, because we did a survey recently in our Facebook group asking people kind of what they wanted to see out of our forum. And we asked, like, here's the different types of sessions. Which ones do you prefer? Which would you not? Operator stories and operator hot seats were the fewest selected. So, I like listening to people's stories of how they started their business, but I don't like to sit in a conference and see someone on stage talk about it. I would preferably have that over be in the hot tub or having a drink with them or doing it in passing. Yeah.
Are you tired of spending countless hours managing your water sport and boat rental reservations manually? Is your current system outdated or doesn't provide the necessary features that your business requires? Hi, I'm Greg Fisher, the CEO of WaveRes, an online reservation software built by operators for operators. With our system, you can offer 24/7 online booking to your customers, allowing them to book and pay for their rentals at their convenience. You can also send SMS notifications to your customers, keeping them updated on their reservation status and any changes that may occur. Custom options and dynamic pricing enable you to offer tailored packages to your customers, helping you stand out from your competitor. Plus, our system integrates with companies like Werewolf Digital Waivers and TripShock, streamlining your operations and ensuring a seamless booking experience for your customers. Our software is the best choice for water sport and boat tour operators, as it is designed to cater specifically to your needs. So why waste any more time on manual reservation management? Try WaveRes today and take your business to the next level. For a limited time, mention this ad and receive a $100 credit when you sign up. Check out waveres.com for more info or to schedule a free demo. Now let's get back to the show.
I got to pause that. So look, if it's done correctly, and this is like the problem, so it's not a problem, but it's like, if you have a guy get up there and he's engaging and the story, like you go to a TED Talk, man, you learn something and you get entertained. And Douglas, and I want to say this, like because I really like Douglas as a content creator. I like Bruce. Bruce is like, he's from Philly. He's my kind of guy. He pulls no punches. He talks shit. He's a sales guy. Like, I want their business to do well. I want you to come to Arrival, because when I went to Arrival, my first year, my second year in business, it wasn't just in networking. I learned a lot there. I truly did. And for me to come back in some second year and say, oh, awesome, man, I graduated from high school. Well, now I want you to tailor this to me now that I'm in college, and I want you to give me a finance degree or a business degree. So this is constantly them having a content war and trying to make everybody happy and increase their their business and increase their reach and make the content engaging. And I can tell you from having one-on-ones with Douglas Quimby, one-on-one with Bruce, working with them from the very, like, on the inside of their business, not like I'm working on a rival, but just partnering with them for our thing. It's like they really care, man. Like, Douglas, I haven't had Bruce is all business. Douglas and I, we have the philosophical, we're believe it or not, I'm a little from column A and column B, but Douglas speaks my language insofar as like artistry, content creation, and delivering value. And so I'm just going to say it like 100%. If you guys are coming to this conference, you're going to learn a ton about water sports operations, but the wider breadth of information that's happening at Arrival, the wider breadth of the amount of people and operators that you can learn from the content strategies that they're talking about in digital marketing and the operations side that they have heard what some of us seasoned guys have said and that are coming up and growing our business, because he's like, hey, Kevin, we're not just speaking to the growth mindset, Kevin O'Neill's. We're also speaking to the execs at Universal. We're also speaking to the food tour operators. And if you are not learning from the execs at Universal and the owner-operated food tours, you are missing the motherfucking boat, because you have so much to learn from both of them, because I still do every single day. So I just want to publicly go on record as saying that my critique of Arrival was there was not enough data for me to make that. Oh, I looked at their marketing and didn't go to their shit. This is what I thought of it. Oh, cool review, man. That's like watching the previews for a fucking movie and then giving it a 3-star review. Good job, Kevin. Kevin is the male equivalent to Karen. Did you know that?
I thought it was
Kevin.
Kyle.
I Karen. No, it's Kevin. I Karen fucking Arrival, who I have business dealings with and everything like that. And again, full transparency. Like, I want something from Arrival. Like, I want to get out there and spread my message. But neither one of those two things have. They could tell me to go kick, piss up a tree or whatever. But I am 100% the type of dude that'd be like, hey, we don't have business dealings, but still, go to Arrival. I will say it on the show, regardless whether or not we do business with them, as long as they keep on continuing to deliver value and operate in good faith, which I always think they will. So I hope both of them hear this episode.
Yeah, well, speaking of Arrival, we went live with the conference tickets. So where we have rebranded it is now The Port, is our Water Sport Forum name. And so just to kind of, you're going to hear a commercial. We're going to start commercials in our shows. You're going to see a lot more marketing also in Facebook and different media outlets. But you can buy the forum just the single day, which is the Monday, October 9th, or you can buy a combo package with Arrival and then stay through the rest of the week, because Arrival is going to start on that Tuesday and go through the week. We highly recommend, if you're going to go there to Orlando, make the effort, go to Arrival too. Because the Water Sport Forum it might be the main content is one day. However, Arrival is giving us a VIP room. We're calling it the Captain's Cove, I think it is. And we're going to have programming specific to water sports and boating at Arrival too. So, this is not just a one-day thing. This is a whole week, and you're going to have fun. We're going to hang out, and we got a lot of stuff planned that I think is going to be fun. So I highly encourage to do the combo ticket, and the earlier you pay, the better price you can get. So if you're concerned about spending, don't wait the last minute. You're going to pay about 20-30% more. So get your tickets now. So go to watersportpodcast.com. We do have a link on the header to go right to the conference landing page. You can buy your tickets. Highly.
And then walk right up to Douglas Quimby and shake his hand and say, I'm here because Kevin told me to come here. Because I felt bad, man. I hate like saying things that are hurtful to other people's businesses, especially when those people are doing good things. And again, man, I'm not putting it on anything other than my negativity and bad attitude about shit. But I've just like, if you're an avid listener to the show and you followed Greg and I's journey, then you know what the last year of my life has looked like. And I'm coming to a lot of great places in my life. And I'm so happy and blessed that I have this platform to maybe walk back some of the negative things that I've said in the past about things that I've changed my mind about. So that's the measure of a genius. It's a measure of a genius, Greg, because here's the thing. If you get new information and you change your thing, that's like geniuses do that. I'm like Elon Musk, but better looking.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm not better looking.
Well, what's pretty cool while we were at Arrival last year, and I had 3 or 4 people come up to me and say, yeah, we heard about Arrival because of the show.
Yeah.
So
I love it, man.
Regardless of the one breakdown we gave, we still are always talking about Arrival and all the good stuff that comes out of it. And
100%.
Yeah, it was good to see that a lot of people came and listened to our message, and it's fun. I mean, it's fucking fun. I don't swear a lot.
It is fun.
I have a blast. Like that is Arrival's
time.
like part vacation for me, because like so all my friends are there, and actually I love my business and I love the industry. So, and it's in Orlando.
All of his friends being like me and Rachel. So like me and Rachel are there. And I'm in like a small circle. My wife says I'm like a Labrador. Like I'm friends with everybody. But my close circle, they're so tight about their friendships. And like when I have guys like you that are like, yeah, Kevin, you're like a brother to me, or you're like one of my best friends, man. That means so much to me, dude. Just because I know you keep your circle small, and to be in that, you know, and it's really, it means a lot to me, man. Not to get lovey-dovey on you.
No, I know. Well, the shingle, the shingle shingles. No, Rose and Shingle Creek is the hotel resort, and I'm sure that their hot tub's going to be open a little later.
Greg, you were so
time.
weird. Why don't you just buy a fucking hot tub, bro?
Do you remember that? Vegas, 5:00 they shut the hot tub down. Who shuts a hot tub down at 5:00?
COVID, bro. Because there's a hot bed of viruses and pandemic water in those nasty hot tubs that you like to swim around in, man. You know the amount of fecal matter that's in that shit, dude? Ugh. I'll tell you what, you might be on a 48-hour fast, but you are eating turd nuggets when you're fucking getting that water in your mouth. Wow, gross, nasty. All right, let's talk about Expedia, TripAdvisor, AI, and the motherfucking coming revolution. Ladies and gentlemen, get your robot arms ready because the platforms are taking over. Are they taking over? How's TripShock doing, man? How's your season off to? Let's start with a really good platform that I love.
Okay.
You got a new website. You have all these new features. I'm not trying to product pitch, but I'm trying to product pitch, man. The new site looks amazing. What's going on? Hey guys, we're going to take a quick break to talk about the Watersports Forum, which is now being rebranded as the Port at Arrival.
That's right, Kevin. We're going to be doing our 3rd annual Watersport and Boat Tour Operator Forum, now called the Port, from October 9th to the 12th. So let's break it down real fast. The first day, October 9th, is the full day event where we'll bring in speakers, host panels, do roundtable sessions. If you went to the year previous, you kind of understand the format. The rest of the week, we'll be partnering with the Arrival Conference to bring you supplemental programming in our special VIP room called Captain's Cove.
Listen, I want you guys to hear me loud and clear. If you guys are listening to this show, if you guys have ever come to one of our conferences before and you thought that was great, this is going to be jam-packed with value. Now, I want to tell you one last thing. Somebody, a very smart investor, once told me that you bet on the jockey, not on the pony. So I'm asking you guys to bet on this conference, on Greg and myself, on Doug and Bruce at Arrival, and know that the amount of value that you are going to extract from both of these conferences are going to be an incredible return on that investment.
So let's talk pricing. A one-day ticket for the forum will run $199. This also includes lunch and our after-hours event. If you decide to stay for the Arrival Conference, you can purchase a combo ticket, which gives you a 15% discount on both events. Because the pricing goes up each month leading up to the event, and this commercial doesn't change, please head to the watersportpodcast.com and click on 2023 conference. Again, watersportpodcast.com, click on the 2023 conference link in the menu, and then you can view the current pricing for the combo package and the arrival ticket. You'll also find info on lodging and programming. This year we're going to be having at the Rose and Shingle Creek, which is an awesome resort.
Special guest speakers. We're going to have a lineup that is going to knock your socks off. We're going to be covering everything from assets, finance, marketing, operations. Like, this is the one and done mastermind. And I don't know when we're going to be able to do something this comprehensive again. And guarantee you, if we do, we'll be bringing the same value in a smaller group for 10 times the amount of money, because it really is that valuable.
Be sure to get your tickets early because we only have 125 seats. Again, watersportpodcast.com. Go to 2023 conference, and from there you can purchase your tickets, you can purchase your combo tickets, you can purchase your lodging. Everything you need to know about the conference is on that page. If you have any questions, just reach out to Kevin or myself. Go to our Facebook group, hit us up. We'd be happy to answer anything you need, and we'll see you there. Let's get back to the show.
New site is good. We had a record amount of applications last month for new partnerships. Partly, I feel one of the reasons why we're having a record amount is just because it's been a little soft this first quarter. And anytime it's soft, we see an increase in our applications for new suppliers. But yeah, the new site went off without a hitch. No big issues. And now we're just kind of working through just making sure everything's ready to go. Every time we launch a site, there's always lingering issues. But overall, this is definitely a soft year. We've done a couple new things to try to get more business, but there's just not as many people searching. That's the problem. I mean, I can't fix that. So
yeah. So I think this is like not just a you thing, right? So when I started looking at Expedia's numbers over the last 5 years, from a market standpoint, their stock is down by about 17%. TripAdvisor's is down 54%. And in this research, I saw that that they had filed with the SEC to take Viator public. Now, without getting into like the research on why, to me that would seem like and I could be wrong on this, but it would seem to me, being down and then taking Viator public, that they could be cash strapped. So when I say that, and I question whether or not their cash flow's down, their revenue's down, their bottom line's down, whatever. I'm just looking at their market, and I'm not a business analyst. But I wonder, like, what is happening with OTAs or these big platforms, why they're down? Because to me, it speaks to their business model a little bit. Now, I don't know about TripShock, but I see how Viator and TripAdvisor specifically engage, and I don't know why they're down.
I can tell you exactly why they're down. Me. So the average commission of a tour is like $25, $30. I mean, if you take all the tours and all the attraction tickets in the whole world and you average it out, maybe it's 150 average sale at a 20% commission. So we're looking at around $30. Some OTAs get a little bit more, but let's just say $30 is the average commission that a tour OTA makes on a sale. Now, pay-per-click costs are increasing faster than the average sale is increasing on these platforms. I can tell with 100% certainty that's the case, because at TripShock, that's what's going on. So if let's say that Viator, for example, was paying $10 to acquire a customer or acquire a sale, they're making $30. Okay, so there's $20 on there. But let's say 5 years from, or today speaking, maybe that number is 20 to acquire that same customer instead of 10. Now, imagine what that does to your margins. And I'll for example, we compete with Viator, not so much in the Panhandle because they don't have a really strong hold here, but in New Orleans we do. A ghost tour, a walking tour for 2 people, we make like $7 commission. Even if I do everything right, I will not acquire that ghost tour booking for less than $30. So I am at a net, I'm at a negative each time I acquire a customer. Now, if that customer comes and books a few more things, then I can make it, but that's not the case. The average return customer for a tour OTA is very low. Like even on TripShock, we have an 8% return customer rate. And honestly, I think that's pretty good, because most people that are booking things here, who's to say they're going to come back to Destin again? And if they do come back to Destin again and again and again, they're probably going to have a relationship directly with that supplier. where they're not going to be using us time and time again. They're going to go direct, and that's just kind of how it works a lot with OTAs. So looking at that ghost tour example, how can these OTAs sustain when margins are slimming down? It's costing more to acquire people on Google. Google is changing their algorithm, so they're receiving less organic traffic than they have in the past because paid ads have become more prominent, map packs. Google is really focusing on pushing traffic directly to their supplier, which is great, great for your business, Kevin. But that is what I'm seeing, is that how can OTAs continue to sustain when OTA or customer acquisition costs are going up, commissions are not moving in that direction with it, and also Google has this big push to throw more business direct. Those are the three things I'm seeing that OTA is going to have to be different. They can't use that same Google model. 80% of TripShock's business is Google. I hate that I have to say that. I wish it would be 50-50, but I don't have any other marketing sources that are viable enough.
Yeah. So when I look at this, I sort of look at it as a little bit. You're very close. I looked at it as pretty from a reduction standpoint, reducing it down to supply and demand, asset versus liability, cost, and commoditization, right? So when you say supplier, I hear commodity or price of a good, right? Buying oranges at 1, selling them for 3, and there's your profit margin. So first of all, I believe that platforms in general are going to, they can't stay nimble when they're as massive as they are, and they have the infrastructural problems. And so as search expands, you start to see of this destabilization. They can't sustain because they don't have the ability to move like the direct-to-consumer market does. So when you look at a business model that's sort of at odds with the fundamental principles of its cash flowing asset, I think that you're in store for long-term pain. And what I mean by that is that we have the ability to control the price that which they are buying, but they are at a fixed cost and not even really a fixed cost, but a rising cost to acquire. So there's only two ways that you continue to be profitable. You can continue to acquire, which, as you mentioned, is going to continue to get more expensive. It's always more expensive than retention. And then increasing commissions, which is absolutely at the peril of retention, right? Because you're not going to keep a client at 30 and 40% when, again, because the expansion of search makes it so much cheaper for me to acquire than it does to you. And when you force that commodity to continue to try and increase its price through reduction, consolidation, leaving the platform, canceling sales, increased refunds and liabilities, there's an infrastructural problem that's untenable. Now, to this whole point, as always, we're facing disruption. We're facing a really interesting disruption. Now, platforms obviously and are already starting to take the Expedia plugin with OpenAI. So they already realize that, hey, there is a new platform coming, a platform arguably as big as the internet itself. Bigger than social media, bigger than Facebook. The AI, what is happening in artificial intelligence is going to change the shape of everything as we know it. Labor, cost of goods, globalization, you name it. Now, with these new opportunities, there's a lot of room for growth. So this is going to disrupt you. It's going to disrupt me. It's going to disrupt everything. Now, the platforms are trying to take advantage of that right now, learning the tech, talking about it, working within its infrastructures, learning as it grows, helping it grow. And we as operators, like the platforms, like all businesses, have an opportunity right now. There is nothing but opportunity with this platform shift. The question is it's going to be opportunistic for the platforms and these huge companies? Yes. Will it be opportunistic for us? Absolutely. Can it be opportunistic for us both together inside of an ecosystem? 100%. Now there might be some blood in the streets in between that shift and this new, whatever you want to, this new paradigm or whatever how it is. But this isn't like another episode for us to say like, oh, like get on ChatGPT. But this is the same thing that Greg identified 15 years ago when the marketplace was still doing rat cards and everything else. You were moving over to Google. And as ChatGPT and OpenAI has become a tool, like you've been working inside of it, much like Google is with Bard, Microsoft is with ChatGPT, all the different apps. We're learning how this works, and we have the opportunity to shape the tool that it becomes for your business.
So when TripShock started 14, 15 years ago, a lot of folks went with us, joined on, primarily because we knew how to market on the internet. They didn't want to do that. They wanted us to run the Google ads, and they were totally fine with paying the commission because they didn't want to mess with it. Now, let's go 10 years in the future. Now all the businesses have access to those tools. They have access to professionals that can run them. Some folks even run it themselves. Our value prop in 2023 is not the same as it was when we first started. But unfortunately, all of our business, just like Viator and TripAdvisor and Get Your Guide, it's all coming from Google still. My guess is that if you look at what percentage of business they did through Google 10 years ago compared to now, it's probably about the same. And I can tell you right now, it's probably about the same. Maybe a little less because we built up our repeat business, email marketing and affiliates and whatnot, but it's still about the same. Which tells me that AI tools could potentially disrupt everything in a massive way. And I'm not going to lie, like we are currently in the works on developing products to get out of the reliance of Google. I would, in 5 years, I hope I can come on the show and say that we are now down to 50% Google or even less, because I don't think OTAs are even prepared. I don't know if they even have a plan to decouple themselves from Google. We're basically not even our own businesses. If Google went away or removed any of these OTAs, their stock price would go to zero and they shut down. That's how bad it is out there. Yeah. And honestly, I probably can say that for most businesses. Like if Google blocked Destiny Water Adventures, you might have the same issues, but at least you have a brick and mortar. You could get on the road and do shit. We're done. Like it's toast. Like it doesn't survive. So it's scary, but these AI tools could change if people decided not to go to Google but went to an AI chatbot that's on their phone as an app. Just basically removed. Google is no longer in their purview as far as what they use it for. Then there's a whole other source now available. Them asking questions which is why I think OTAs are probably going to be investing heavily in this tech, because if people stop using Google, they're going to be using these AI tools, to ask questions and plan their vacations.
Yeah, I think that all of this is, if I had to guess, I wouldn't say it's a long way off, but I think the delta between it being monetized, it being universally accepted. I know that Bing has got record numbers of downloads, but at the moment, we are all still very much glued to Google until this technology starts to become realized and utilized. I still think it's ours to play with, ours to experiment with, and again, it's ours to shape what the future of it looks like, because it is a language learning model. Like, it is learning what we do. It is learning from us. So we can either continue to sit around on our docks and our jet skis and wait for, Greg Fisher or somebody else to market for you, or you can work with Greg Fisher and have them market for you and learn how to use the tools. And because now it's like the same thing, right? Like everybody's getting into Google Google ads. Like, man, have you seen these new Facebook ads? Like, no, it's crazy. Fucking Google ads. Who'd have thought, man? You know, it's like fucking wild. And we see prices going. I mean, there's still people that don't even fuck with Google ads in this market in water sports.
We went years with none of our suppliers doing anything, but then I'd say around like 2018, 2019 is when everyone. Well, it was once, and we didn't really touch upon the reservation systems. The reservation systems are both a blessing and a curse for me as an OTA. Why I say they're a blessing is because they have given us real-time inventory, that they have kind of elevated our industry in a whole new way, technology-wise. So that has really helped our business. They are a curse because the reservation systems are kind of turning into these all-encompassing tools and resources to make businesses more competitive against OTAs. Obviously, you know, their whole business model relies on the 5 or 6% booking fee. So it is very advantageous for the reservation softwares to help their clients get more bookings because it has an impact on their revenue too. So they're connecting with Google, with Google TDD. Peak is partnered with Yelp, and they're getting their products in more places, helping and that they're almost acting as an OTA in some ways, and they're not, but it's really
they're going to be challenged us. No? Let me ask you a question. So with this technology, where do you think this puts? I mean, ad agencies, graphic designers, web builders. Where do you think does this starting to threaten those tools in the next even 2 to 3 years?
Oh, yeah. Within 5 years, you're going to see the ability for a novice business person to do anything. You know, I've seen that there are some AI tools that will build you websites. You tell it what you want, design, boom, they're done. They built it.
I have a follow-up. Quick follow-up. So you answered that question. So my next question is, what about software?
Oh, software is the same way.
Right.
So you can ask ChatGPT.
So then now hold on. Now follow up again. A third one. So you touched on websites and web dev, ad copy, creative, right? You'll probably be able to start do this stuff at home. And then it talks about, we asked about software. So then what does that ultimately do to ResTech?
Yeah, but I don't know if those models the AI models will be proficient enough to write fully complex databases and the software is the amount of work that goes into it, because the AI has you got to feed it with a lot of good data. Like, is there enough data regarding our industry out there in large quantities to help it build these things?
Real quick, could you use it? Could you use it to build a database then?
I think you can use it for anything, really. But it's about like a very complex piece of software, like Fair Harbor or Waveres or TripShock. I don't think that it's going to be quite there. And plus, you still need someone that can review. There's always going to be a human component, to take for all the intricacies and the things that we don't think about.
Yeah, and so like to all this point, like for us, for as operators, like historically, there's so much that handcuffs what we do. We are handcuffed by fucking everyone, man. And don't get me wrong, every business is. Talk a lot about these type of vertical integrations and doing things yourself and hiring and finding and getting people in line with your core values and your vision, and then learning the actual tools and the trade, and then building. This is how you build infrastructure and how you grow an organization. And so I am very much about us getting unhandcuffed by marketing, unhandcuffed by data, unhandcuffed by our unwillingness to learn and grow. And not that I want to see anybody's business take a shit, but when we start talking about the platforms and the insurance and all these backhanded deals, I am rather excited to see the value that we bring grow exponentially, because ultimately these sort of blue collar jobs, when you talk about AI taking over the medical fields, they always talk about replacing doctors, but the nurses, the people that are on the ground floor that are ultimately, as I mentioned before, I'm the last in line to get paid. But look, if I can decrease my utilization even further, if I can decrease the stresses that are brought onto me by trying to manage or pay to get managed, or expectations that get lost because I'm not doing something in myself, or I don't have my hands on the reins, because it makes more sense for me to pay somebody who's better at this thing than I am, and I don't want to get in my own way. But if there's a tool or a service that I am not in my own way because the strategy is coming from me and the tools are coming from automation, well, that is a huge win for the operator. Not that I want to see anything happen to you or Fair Harbor or Peak or whatever.
True, yeah. Well, there's some great, situations where AI is going to blow people away. So let's say you have legal questions. I mean, I hate to say it, but lawyers are in trouble. I mean, because a lot of times I have this simple legal questions, and I know I'm going to pay $200 to talk to a lawyer, but damn it, it would be great if I could just punch it into ChatGPT. And a lot of time, and I've done this multiple times already, and I got exactly the answer, if not better, than the attorney I spoke to. A good example is we had a trademark issue with one of our products. Another company was using it, and I needed to look over the GPL of a WordPress plugin and a big, obviously a very long document, and I needed the AI to tell me if the situation that I was giving them could be, malicious, had malicious intent. It gave the perfect answer. It read everything through, it analyzed it, and I'm like, damn, like lawyers are in trouble. Also, I think like this can be very beneficial from the mechanic side. So if you have an issue with your boat or your ski, and it can at least give you quick, maybe like a quick assessment. Okay, here's where we think that you need to focus like your attention on. So it's not going to replace. I mean, I feel for lawyers because someone still has to litigate and everything. But as far as like that, instead of before you jump into a relationship with a lawyer, you could get a lot of basic questions answered and save yourself a lot of money before you actually have to hire someone and sue somebody. Same with a mechanic. If you have small issues with your equipment, you could ask ChatGPT, maybe solve some of the easy things before you take that next big step to hiring a mechanic or replacing it or selling it. So I'm thinking what it's going to do is I feel consultants are probably going to be hurt, lawyers, but they're not going to be taken out completely. I can see those fields being reduced because there's not as much business as there was before because ChatGPT is replacing that.
Let's say AI, man. Like, so okay. Exactly to your damn detriment. Like, you get wrapped in with Google. Let's just say search, man. Let's stop branding these motherfuckers and giving them all the power, because there's going to be a bunch of AI tools that are coming out because the tech is amazing. Now, don't get me wrong. Their CEO, I forget his name, but I mean, this guy has pedigree in this field, and he's definitely going to be the Larry Page and Sergey Brin of
Sam
AI.
Altman, I think it is.
Sam Altman, correct. Yep. And so this guy is nimble. He is no Sam Bankman-Fried. This is not the Fugazi that fucking some of the crypto shit. I don't think this is.
Did you hear that they're going to be relaunching FTX in second quarter?
Oh, I mean, yeah. Why wouldn't you buy it? I mean, crypto is going fucking bananas right now, dude. ETH is like back up to like $2,000 again. I'm like, God damn it! Like, man, that's. Son of a bitch, man. I'm like, oh, you losers in crypto. That's why I got out. Ha, ha, ha. Now it's just shooting for the moon. But I honestly feel like the reason we are not seeing the massive fall that everyone anticipated is because we are entering into a new era. We're entering into it. This is not oil. This is not an internal combustion engine. This is not agriculture. This is not a limited resource. We are figuring out data, and we are figuring out knowledge, and we are scaling all of it. And the reason that we are not going into, there's going to be a shift, but I don't think it's going to be a shift like we've seen historically, because again, the resources that we were sort of, the resources that we were counting on as a commodity to lift the economy, there was fluxes in this. But technology and knowledge, innovation, productivity, And again, information is being scaled, and it has compounding effects. Like, this tool is just learning and learning and learning, and then writing and writing and writing and growing and growing and growing. And then when you have the consolidation of a resource this is now, we just have to make sure that there's no more gatekeepers who control that resource. And that's why it's so fucking important that we do not, and this is not me going on a bend, like, yes, government has to keep but at the same point in time, when you see bills like 686 or whatever it is, the TikTok ban, and that bill is fucking super scary, because there's all sorts of, they'll restrict you from the internet, and they will do this, and they'll do that. We have to make sure as a people we are very paying close attention to, yes, the necessary gatekeepers that are keeping an eye on this shit, but the restrictive legislation that's in that bill and the potential fallout for people that are using VPNs and having a free and open internet and allowing innovation to run wild is what we need as a society and as a people. Personally speaking, that's what I feel. I'm not afraid of the Terminator. This whole idea that AI is going to come to and have, like, look, and this is me going off on a philosophical tear, but look, computers are not fucking malevolent, ladies and gentlemen. Human beings have malevolence to them, or take malevolent actions. Putting our bullshit in our front lobe onto a computer, I know it's like, oh, they could come to a conclusion that we're not needed and fucking erase us, but I mean, I think maybe we've watched too many movies, in that regard.
Yeah. The biggest thing to know about AI is it's not going to remove a lot of the jobs that people say they are. It's going to empower people. And honestly, if I'm a lawyer, I would love to have people contact me with a little bit of insight before I have to dig down the rabbit's nest of what the shit you got going on in your life. It would be great if, like, you've done a little research and something to work off of. You've done, other than just offloading all the bullshit you have. But, like, especially being a mechanic, it's nice if you can throw in, like, what's going wrong with your piece of equipment. I know that I'm going to be using this a lot at home for, like, my lawnmower or shit, anything in the house. I mean, I can see myself using AI for a lot of stuff.
Erotic stories, for example. Like, hey, ChatGPT, write me an erotic story where I'm a hero. Yeah, and then just, like, I have some, like, weird moment alone. Yeah, there's all sorts of weird things I would do with ChatGPT. Learn how to murder somebody, have ChatGPT murder someone for me.
Yeah.
What?
No.
No murder plans for ChatGPT and erotic stories. I got all sorts of crazy business ideas in this coming new fucking equality-driven paradigm shift and human consciousness. And guys, that brings it, thank God, to a close. Thank you for listening to one of the weirdest episodes we've ever done. We covered a lot. We've covered a lot of emotions, a lot of technology, a lot of the questions burning in your hearts that you did not know you need answered. And as always, I am Kevin O'Neill, my co-chemo Sabi, Greg Fisher. Greg, what should they do?
Keep it awkward.
Fucking A.